All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about mastering discovery calls without them being awkward. Now, discovery calls are something that's a very useful, very powerful tool for you to use, especially if you are in the coaching space. Because typically what ends up happening is before someone knows if they want to hire you as their coach to help them work with you, they want to know, does this relationship work? Do I believe that you're someone that gets me, that understands me, that can actually help me? And a lot of times that's hard to do when you don't really know someone. And typically a coaching contract, a coaching relationship is fairly expensive. So especially if it's one-on-one. And so you're looking at a situation where, hey, this is, um, this is going to be an investment. I don't want to just throw this money away. I don't want to just make a mistake and waste a bunch of time, waste a bunch of money. I want to know this is going to work. So a great way to kind of help the client and to help you as well is to have that discovery call, to have that conversation to start, whereby you are able to have a conversation, you're able to talk, you're able to learn a little bit more about each other to decide, is this a good fit or not? Is this something that makes sense or not? Is this something that, I think would be a good idea? And so these are great ways, because coaching especially is a relationship business. It's a business whereby you want to know, like, I'm going to be working with this person and I want to know that this makes sense, that this person actually gets it. Because we've all, like, on both sides, I've hired people to help me and been in a room, like joined things and been a part of things, and I've walked out the door going, these people don't get it at all, and this was a complete waste of time, and I'm never doing that again, because that was wrong. I've been in other situations where, like, you're just like, wow, this person is really good at what they do. They get what I'm struggling with. They get the challenges that I'm facing, and man, can they help me. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need. And so that goes both ways. I've also had clients where I've met on the other side that I've ended up hiring, that hired me, excuse me, and that I was doing work for. And a few weeks into the relationship, I went, oh boy, I regret signing this person as a client. This is not going well. This is not a good fit. They are making demands and having expectations that are not in line with what we agreed upon. And it's just not a good relationship. This is not good. So these discovery calls can really be a filter. They can really be a good tool for you to know that, hey, this makes sense. This makes sense for you. This makes sense for me. I think we can make this work. So a lot of times what ends up happening is you'll do a training, you'll do something where you'll invite someone to fill out an application to join your program. So, like, hey, if you're interested in joining us, if you're interested in learning more about our program, hey, here's the next step. Fill out an application, answer a few questions. We'll review your application, and if we think it makes sense, we'll invite you to hop on a call with us. And the calls are just simply exploring, right? They're just really exploring whether or not this makes sense. Does this add up? Does this make sense for us to move forward? And so this becomes a very important process. You need to make sure that the calls are worthwhile. We need to make sure that the calls are making sense, because we want them to turn into clients, right? We don't want to go through all this work. We don't want to do all these things. We don't want to have all these invitations going through and then no one turns into clients, because we're spending all the time to generate the leads, spending all the time to get people to fill out the applications, spending all the time getting people on calls, and then nothing happens. Well, that's a complete waste. So these calls become very, very important. This is the sales conversation. This is that moment where someone decides whether or not they're going to become your client. And so how do we manage that? How do we become really good at these? And how do we make sure that these are successful? And one of the things that happens a lot is because there's that pressure, because you know that the pressure is on, like, this is it. This is where the money meets the road. We got someone to talk to you. Now we got to get them as a client. So a lot of times what happens is it puts a lot of pressure on that conversation. I gotta sell them. I gotta sell them. And what that does is that creates an awkward environment where it's a pressure situation where I got to get this person to buy. I got to get this person to buy. And it becomes this high pressure, pushy, salesy type conversation where I got to get them to put their credit card in. That's the only thing that matters. Well, no, it's not. And that's not a good approach to doing a discovery call, because it makes everything uncomfortable. It gets the relationship started off on a bad foot. It does not put things in the right frame of how you want to build this relationship with your client. And it's not what the client wants to hear. They don't want to hop on that call and get a high pressure sale. I had this experience one time where I went in and I bought a short mini course from an organization, and I, and clearly their methods were that, they were selling these short ebooks, these short mini courses and so forth, which were helpful, which were valuable. There's no question. There was definitely a lot of value there. But you would buy the mini course and then you're on their list, and they would call you relentlessly to try and sell you on their $5,000 program. Now, the mini course was like $27. It was a cheap little thing, but they were just like, starving people going after the last piece of meat. And to say that they hounded you would be a gross understatement. They went after you. Like, my phone was blowing up 5-6 times a day. They were texting me, they're calling me over and like endlessly. And I kept telling them, no, I'm not interested in it. And I knew who it was and I knew what it was. So I wasn't answering the calls. I wasn't responding, and I was blocking them. And then they would get another phone number and come at me with that phone number. And I was getting so frustrated because it wasn't a good conversation. And there was a 0% chance that I was going to work with these people because of how they were acting, because how they were treating me like that last piece of meat on the table that, all these starving people are dying to get to. No, I'm not. That's not how this is going to work. I don't work with people who act like that. And that's how they would, but that's how it was. And I look at it as that's a terrible approach. That's terribly ineffective. It is not how you start a relationship. It is not how you want to do this. You do not want to do it that way. A much better approach is what I'm going to outline here. So you get somebody to schedule a call with you. You get somebody to hop on a call with you and talk about the possibility of having, a working relationship together. So that you're going on with the question of, will this person become my client? They're hopping on with the question of, can this person help me with the problem that I'm facing? Can they help me achieve my goal that I'm trying to get to in my life? Because I need help. I need someone to help me and to guide me. And so what you have to first and foremost do is you kind of have to change your approach to that call from selling to, how can I serve this person? How can I be useful to this person no matter what? So that even if we have the call and it ends up being that, this isn't the right fit, I'm not the right person for you, or I don't think what you need is what we're really going to be able to provide. It's not the right fit. It's not the right match here. This isn't going to work. I could still help you out. I could still make this useful to you. And this is a positive conversation for both of us. We can walk away from this with a good experience. I don't feel like I'm shoving something down your throat. You don't walk away from this situation feeling like, oh my gosh, I just got, attacked. Which is, again, and not only that, when you have that type of approach, it comes across as desperate. It comes across as just, I don't care what it takes. I'm desperate to get a client. I am so desperate to get someone to buy from me that I'll do whatever it takes. And that is just selling from a place of desperation never works well. Selling from a place of serving your client and being there for them and adding value to their life and trying to make things better for them, way more effective, and it's way more ethical, and it's going to make you feel just better about yourself as a human being, that you're actually helping people. You're not just there to shove something down their throat. So first of all, shift your mindset from I got to sell to how can I serve this person? How can I help them? How can I be useful to them? And how can I be learning about them? And how can I make their life better, even if we don't end up working together? And there's really a 3-step approach to doing this. First part of the call, and we usually try and keep the calls around 30 minutes or so. We try and keep them fairly short because there's no reason killing 2 hours on a call with somebody if it's not going to work out anyway. But the first thing you have to do with this person, you just need to spend a few minutes connecting with them. You need to just set the tone, let them relax a little bit, because they are going to come onto this, because all of us have had these experiences where the conversation was a high pressure sales conversation. So they're coming up with their guard up, right? They're getting on that call with a little bit of their guard up, with a little bit of the, man, this is a little, I don't know, I hope I don't get, this thing slammed down my throat. I hope they don't, try and really pressure me. And so when you set that tone where it's friendly, it's casual, hey, how are you? So like, tell me a little bit about you. So, where are you from? Like, oh, okay. So what is your background? What is it that you're trying to do? And that's great. That's interesting. Do you have a family? Do you this or do you that? How long have you lived in that area? You start to set the tone, and you start to set this like, okay, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to help you and I'm going to be useful to you. And I'm going to be somebody who can just be a nice person to talk to. So you spend a few minutes doing that. You spend a few minutes just, hey, it's okay. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to jump all over you. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to put the squeeze on you. Take a deep breath. I just want to get to know you. And I want to find out a little bit more about you. And once you get that, you bring the tension down. You bring the anxiety down. And they're like, okay, this person's not one of those people. This person is not one of those people who is going to be jumping down my throat, trying to just, shove a sale down my throat. Because again, everyone likes to buy. No one likes to be sold. You know that expression probably. Everyone has things they like to get and get, but no one wants to go into one of these situations. Think about a used cars sales lot. We've all been there, where we went to shop for a car, and the guy was just, some of those people are very good and they know how to properly handle a sales conversation. And other guys are just, man, you show up, they get your phone number, and they are pounding you 100 times in a week, trying to push a car on you when you don't want a car. And it becomes a waste of time, and it becomes awkward, and it becomes terrible, and you don't want to ever do business with that person. So that's setting the tone, the connection, the asking about them as a person, asking about where they live, how long have they lived there, about their family, about their life, just a little bit, just brings the temperature down, brings the stress level down. And then from there, you start asking, so what is it that you're trying to achieve? What are your goals? What are the things that you get on this call because you want to learn more about what we do? Tell me a little bit, what are your goals, and what have you tried so far, and what have you been able to do so far, and what have been your experiences? What's went well for you and what hasn't worked well for you? Because obviously, if you're on the call, you haven't gotten the answer yet, right? If you are on this call with me, that means you're still looking for a solution. You're still trying to figure it out. You haven't put all the pieces together. Because if you had, you wouldn't be here. You would not be here on this call, because you'd already be at your solution. You'd already be there. So talk to me, like, what are your goals? What are you trying to build? Like, for us, it's about what kind of a business are you trying to build? What are the goals that you're trying to do? What are the things that you're trying to achieve? What's the objective? And what have you tried so far? Like, how much experience have you had in this? How many attempts have you made? Well, did you have some good experiences? Do you have some bad experiences? Okay. And now I'm learning about things. I'm learning about them. I'm learning about what is it that they want and where are the pain points. Okay. Now, this is one of the really most important parts of the conversation, because what you learn through that asking of them of questions, because too many times when you're in that sales mindset, you're talking about yourself. Well, this is what I can do. This is all the things we have, and this is all the value that we have bring, and all the different stuff that we offer. No, instead of doing that, ask them about them. Ask them about, what do you want? What are you trying to get to? What are your needs? Where have you struggled? Where's your frustration? Where's your pain point? What's been not going well for you? Okay. And now, as you hear that conversation, now once they share that, once they're going through this process of like, okay, you know what? I can really help you with that. I know exactly how to fix that. That problem that you're having right there, we are 100% set up to solve that. That's exactly what we do. We have a simple process on how to do it, because the last part of the conversation then becomes, okay, great. I see how your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, where you're trying to go. Here's how I can help you. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. What our program looks like. This is what coaching looks like with me. This is how I can help you. These are the steps that we would go through for me to be able to help you achieve your goals, for me to help you achieve your dreams. This is how it can happen. And we would work like this. We would do this, and then we would achieve this, and we'll get this taken care of for you, no problem. And if by understanding their goals, understanding their pain points, one of two things is going to happen. One is you're going to have a clear understanding, because a lot of times what ends up happening is when you talk about all the things that you do, they're not interested in half of those things. Okay. They're only interested in the things that are relevant to what they want, to their pain points, to their goals, to their dreams. And by you sitting there waiting and listening and learning about what is it that you want, what's important to you, what are your goals, what are your objectives, okay, then you only need to speak about those things. Your program may have 20 things that are involved in it. It may have 20 different aspects to what you offer. You may have a course on this. You may have training on that. You may have resources for this. Your coaching does this. You have other types of calls. You have this, you have that. You have all these amazing things that go into it. And yet they may only be interested in, and you may have 10 things in your program, but they only may be really interested in 3. So you don't need to waste time on the 7 things that aren't relevant to them. You don't need to waste time talking about things that are really not what this specific client may want, what this specific client may be interested in. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about those things. Just speak directly to the pain point. Speak directly to their dream, to their goal, what it is that they're trying to achieve. And all of a sudden, that's the part they're interested in. That's the part they want to learn. That's the part they want to know. And so we have all these things, and we have, the focused conversation, excuse me, where they are hearing exactly what they want to know. You're not wasting time talking about things that they're not interested in. And again, one of two things is going to happen in that conversation when you're getting them to share about what their goals are, what their pain points are, what their dreams are. You're going to quickly understand, can I help this person or can I not? Because there are going to be times where people will get on a call with you and they'll start saying, well, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I'm trying to achieve. And you're going to know, yeah, that's not what I do. That's not what I am here for. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm not your guy. I'm not the person who can help you. I'm not the person who is best suited to take care of what it is that you need. I'm not the person who's the best fit for you. So you end up then saying, hey, you know what? I'm really glad I got to know you. Really glad and nice to meet you. Here's the reality of how all this works. This is what my program looks like. This is what I do. This is my specialty. This is what I focus on. This is what I'm really good at. But I'm not really sure that this is a fit. And what ends up happening, and even though you may say, but then I don't get the sale. And you know what? Here's the truth. Sometimes not getting the sale is the best thing that can happen, because I've done this long enough now. I've had enough times working with clients doing these things that I get on with a client and they said yes, they bought, even though it was questionable. And then afterwards, 6 weeks later, you're like, oh, dear Lord, I now have a nightmare on my hands. And I'm working with somebody that shouldn't be here. It should not work out at all. I shouldn't be working with them. They should not have joined the program. This is just not right. It's not a fit. And it's not that they're bad people or that you're a bad person. It's like oil and water. We don't fit. We don't work well together. This is not a fit. And so it ends up, you start regretting making sales after a while. You start regretting saying yes to some of these people, because it's just like, this is a massive headache. This isn't working. This isn't right. This isn't going to be a good situation. And at some point, we've even had to let clients go simply because you're looking at it going, hey, look, man, I care about you, but we need to stop. And this is not working. This is not a good fit, and we just have to call a spade a spade. And so you end up with a very awkward situation. And if you can figure that out early on in that discovery call, and you can talk to that person and say, hey, you know what? I just don't know that we're the right people for you. I don't know that this program is the right fit for you based on your goals, based on what you want to do, based on your objectives. I'm not really convinced that this is what you want. I'm not convinced that this is a good fit. And as a result, I just want to say, I wish you the best in what it is that you're doing. And maybe you even have a couple of small gifts for them. Like, here's a free ebook I can give you. Here's a free downloadable resource I can give you. And they'll feel like, oh, okay, well, that would be helpful. Thank you. Great. Take those, or maybe you even have a downsell and you say, you know what, the coaching program is not right for you, but I have this little mini course that, is like $50 or something. And you could get that. That would help you with this one piece that you're looking for. But the coaching program, I just don't think makes sense. Or you're going to say, hey, yeah, I can help you 100%. Let's go. This is exciting. I know I can help you. I know I can make a difference. I know I can do these things for you. And so you start telling them how you could do it. You start casting a vision for what it could look like if the two of you work together, and you generate excitement, and you get them to see what's possible. You get them to see what could happen based on the potential of you working together. And so it just becomes this amazing opportunity that they're now excited about. And they're saying, great, how do I sign up? This is perfect. This is exactly what I want. And you now have a client. But do you see how this process becomes much more comfortable? This process becomes much more successful. The client joins because they're excited to join, not because they felt pressured. Because if a client joins because they felt pressured, or because they felt sold, or because they felt cornered, they're going to want to quit. And if they feel like the program's not right for them, they're going to quit much more often. That's where your refund rates go up significantly. They increase a lot because they didn't feel good about it from the very first day. They felt pressured from day one. And you end up with a lot more loyal clients. You end up with a lot more clients that want to stick around because they were happy to join. They were wanting, please let me in. Please let me work with you, because this is exactly what I want. You're the perfect person to help me. This is exactly the fit that I want for all this. And you can make your offer then with clarity, with confidence, and without any feeling like you need to pressure the other person, like you need to twist their arm or you need to manipulate them. No, you can just say, hey, this is great. this is exactly what we do. And I could love to help you. And I could love to be able to show you exactly how we can help you achieve your dreams, help you achieve your goals, how we can do exactly what it is that you're looking for. If they have any objections or questions, you can meet those right there. Say, oh, yeah. We do that. We can handle all that. We have a resource for that, or we have a program for that, or we have a tool that we can help you with that. And no matter what, if they say yes or they say no, both of you are walking away from that conversation feeling good. They're even like, wow, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the right program for me, but man, I got a lot out of that conversation. They were really helpful. They were really encouraging. They offered me some other resources that were good for me. Or they're like, man, I finally found my people. I finally found the people I want to work with. This is the person I want to hire. This is fantastic. And at the end of the day, they feel like no matter what, I ended up with this conversation better off than when I started, because I feel encouraged. I feel lifted up. I feel like I found somebody that understands me. And now everything is a positive, and your reputation is so much stronger. Like if they have someone else that they would say, hey, you know what? If you want to do this, you should talk to these people because they're fantastic. They are incredible, and they can help you. They can help you do this thing. They can help you be successful, and they're great, fantastic people to work with, as opposed to the person who got pressured and they say, yeah, I don't know if I want to recommend this place to you or not, because they really, put on the high pressure, like this other business, which actually, interestingly enough, is no longer in business. I would have never recommended anybody go there. I would have never said to one of my friends, hey, yeah, you should go check them out because they're great. No, I would have said, no, stay away. They attack you. They treat you like you're subhuman, and all they want to do is squeeze money out of your wallet, because that's all they care about. They don't care about you. They just care about your money, and you'll never recommend them. But if you have these types of conversations where even the clients or even the people that don't become clients feel like, wow, that was a really great experience. These are good people. I like them. You know what? It wasn't the right fit for me, but my friend over here, I think you could help them. And I would be happy to recommend that they talk to you because I like you and you're good people, and you actually are concerned with helping people. You're actually concerned with serving your clients and making life better for them. So think about it this way. When you do these calls, focus on serving your clients, not selling your clients. Focus on helping them. Use that simple structure where you get to know them. You spend a few minutes just getting to know about who they are, what they're about their background, so on and so forth. Find out about what their goals are. Find out what their dreams are. Find out about their pain points. Where have things gone? Where have they tried to do this before? And where have things gone wrong? Where have things fallen apart? And then at the end, if it makes sense, invite them to work with you. If it's a good fit, invite them in. And this is what it would look like if we work together. And it's a very simple, powerful process. Does not need to be hard, does not need to be complicated, but it works. And it's very, very comfortable. It's very ethical. It's not about being salesy or manipulative or sleazy in any of it. It's just about helping people. And if you can truly help them, here we go. But you can only help them if you know what they need. And that's why this simple process is so powerful. So that's it for this episode. If you'd love to learn how we can help you with growing your business and all that, we'd love to have a conversation with you. So go to designlaunchgrow.com and fill out an application, and we would love to chat with you. Otherwise, have a great day, and I will look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.